Leila TV may be one of the most hated TikTokers of all time. I mean it when I say this. There are thousands of TikToks hating on her, tons of Reddit posts with hundreds of comments just tearing her apart, and plenty of YouTube videos. In this video, we'll be getting into it and how people claim that her videos are staged and how she really manipulates her audience and how deserved this hate truly is.
You're late.
This is just so boring to me. I'm so tired of, girls can only like things or do things for a certain period of time.
So a lot of you have been requesting for me to talk about her for a while, and I didn't really get to it until now when I started to get, a lot of criticism of her on my TikTok For You page. People were making videos talking about how her videos are problematic, staged, etc. So in this video, we'll be uncovering if it's true that they're staged and exactly what she does that is so wrong. But first, I'm selling a limited amount of sweatshirts and t-shirts to help a Palestinian family get out of Palestine, which is an expensive trip during these horrible times. A lot of you know Mustafa by now and his 2 daughters. When you buy a t-shirt or sweatshirt, a portion of the profit goes to Mustafa's family as they need money for food and a chance to escape the danger and rebuild their lives. The shirts are super soft and high quality, and you will be helping save the lives of a dad, mom, and 2 toddlers.
My little brother's gonna be asking the Grinch to be his girlfriend. Sorry, not the Grinch. Actual girl. He's gonna ask her by writing on a cake. So let's make it. I'm gonna be putting love and happiness and poison. Did I just put the rapper in? No, that's not me. Leah, you can't do anything to his girlfriend. It's not really doing if I'm not looking at it.
When you look at Leila's videos at first, it feels like you're missing out on some sort of inside joke. It feels like the Swiftie fandom on Twitter. Like, whenever I see their posts, they're saying something, I never get the reference because I'm not like that level of a stan. Like, they'll be looking at her fingers and making some joke that has to do with their albums in order, and I'll be like, what are you talking about right now? That's what her page feels like. It's always something very random, but her audience loves it, and she's been keeping up the likes over the years. Each post she posts gets hundreds of thousands of likes, and that is hard for a creator to maintain long term. Few creators do it. I can think of a few. Brooke Monk, really people that just can't fall off maintain those numbers, which she's been able to do.
My boyfriend, or should I say fake boyfriend, wants to go out because he thinks I'm so in love with him. Literally rather be in love with a traffic cone. At least it knows how to stay in its own lane. Why is he calling?
But at first glance, it certainly doesn't feel problematic at all. I didn't get any of that. It seems completely, it doesn't seem harmful at all. She's just making jokes. Some people find it cringy, but to be cringy, in my opinion, that's not problematic on its own. It's not really a problem. It's not hurting anyone. All it is making people cringe a little bit, and it just seems to be her telling stories about her situations and her making jokes and stuff like that with her brothers a lot of the time in it, and just simple content overall. So firstly, what we're going to look at is some of the TikTok hate before we move into the criticism on YouTube, and then of course the Reddit. We all love Reddit, don't we?
You're late.
This is just so boring to me. I'm so tired of, girls can only like things or do things for a certain period of time before it's caricaturized. I don't know if that's a word. Before it's turned into a caricature and made fun of. Liking Starbucks or Visco or whatever girls can like something for only a certain allotted amount of time until the world that we live in decides that it's so lame and stupid and the funniest shit ever to exaggerate it and then say that's how all girls are. It's just so boring. It comes out in any singular archetype that people say girls are.
So this TikTok has almost 7,000 likes, and it is mostly complaining about how Leila leads to stereotypes surrounding girls, because we all know that stereotype where girls with the Starbucks coffee. I remember that was a huge stereotype a few years ago, and it was the girls, sometimes white girls especially, so maybe that's what she's going after. But yeah, this girl was not very happy to see it. So Leila does get criticized occasionally on TikTok when she makes some jokes, as people find those annoying.
There are so many, hundreds, if not thousands of comments similar to this, basically saying she's cringe, she's fake. To put it nicely, her videos feel like it's a little cuckoo, a bit of satire, and a lot of stage content. So I looked further into it, and I have to admit, her content does seem very staged. All her TikTok shorts feel like it's put on. I do get a very weird and cringe vibe, and I do feel like she is not doing well mentally.
So Reddit was pretty much the first place to call out Leila specifically for staging her content, as a lot of her videos, which we're going to look at in a second, she makes content with her brothers, and there's always so much drama going on that it does not really feel too realistic. And she would later drop a response to this, so I thought we could watch that last in this video, so make sure you do not miss that at the end. But yeah, so she does make interesting content, but as you know on YouTube, to stay relevant, you gotta have interesting stuff going on. That's why so many people like the Bop House, Piper, and her boyfriend, they all stage content constantly, and half the time people kind of know it's fake, but they just watch it because it's interesting. They tune in because it's an interesting topic. But yeah, so Leila to some extent seems to be staging her content, which makes a lot of people, especially Redditors, very, very annoyed.
Okay, so are you gonna tell her?
Tell her what? That you don't want us to be together?
But long story short, the entire story is fake. It's all made up and was created to entertain people. However, it seems like her audience doesn't know it's meant to be fake.
A lot of her content involves boyfriend drama, which I've seen as a pattern of, like, I'm not saying it's for sure staged right now, but like, I've seen that as a pattern with a lot of staged content. For some reason, people enjoy watching the boyfriend drama. If you have drama with like your boyfriend cheating, breaking up, blah, 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 that is something people stage a lot, as we know with Piper and Capri and all that. So here, Curse, the YouTuber, talks about how Leila went through this whole series of drama with a boyfriend, and it was so obviously staged, but her audience seemed to think it was real. Like, they were all commenting, like, serious stuff, thinking it was real. And there's other examples in her videos where she does something so obviously staged, like, it just seems like, it seems kind of like, why would you even, like, do this? Here, it seems like she definitely planned to drop this fruit right before, as it just does not seem accidental. It seems performative for sure, and there's much more examples we're going to get into. There's a reason why Redditors were very mad.
Another time, she also posted a video that is basically insinuating that her dad is cheating. Her dad is trying to bribe her indirectly to stay quiet from telling her mom. Yo, this is crazy. She basically posted 5 different videos trying to insinuate that her dad is cheating indirect.
So like I said before, she makes very dramatic situations. It's almost like people have compared, I've seen in different comment sections, like some kind of Wattpad thing. Like, think of Amelus, something like that seems too interesting, too like story-like to be true. And if you think that when you're watching a TikTok, it probably is staged. Most stuff on TikTok that is successful, or most creators that do stuff like this, it's probably staged. But it almost seems like she is trying to hide it because like she doesn't bring up like that it is staged. She doesn't make it clear. She just talks about it in each TikTok, makes updates. The comments she'll be liking are just saying like, oh, this is so interesting. Like, they are buying it and she's liking it, seeming to like cover up the fact that she staged it. So it all started, as we know, the calling out of her stage stories on Reddit. Here comes the post on our TikTok gossip. Just when we thought Leila couldn't get any further with her lies, she decides to create a novella on her dad having an affair, leading to her parents splitting storyline. Now, her lies are bad enough with fake boyfriends, but she reached a new level of low by bringing up her own parents into this and pulling these stunts straight up to convey her life is oh so dramatic, and now her parents are splitting up. The fact this girl will do anything for clout for her dying music career is such a shame. If she goes down this path long enough, she'll lose her credibility big time. This will only harm her image further. Honestly, I doubt even mentally she's doing okay. Like, who lies about their parents splitting up? The fact her brothers and parents are in on this too, I guess they're doing anything for clout, fame, and money too. Gross. So I was not laughing at when they said the music career is dying. That caught me off guard when I was reading it, because it reminded me she has released some music, and I'm going to be completely honest, because I used to be on an app. I definitely do not have like credibility in rating music or anything, but it definitely isn't enough to like, it's not bad. I would never call it bad, but in my opinion, it's just not good enough to stand out. And like, she just doesn't have quite like, it's just so auto-tuned, and it's so like, it just doesn't stand out, if I have to be completely honest. No hate at all to her. If you like her music, genuinely, I have nothing against you. I can understand it can be catchy sometimes, but it just doesn't really, I don't think long term it will work, in my opinion. But yes, staging that type of situation is it's not really the best way to boost your career, but it definitely could do it, as we know with Piper and stuff. It's probably Piper's parents, we've already been over that, but staging TikTok dramas is something that is definitely becoming more popular because it's just such an easy way to get clout. And obviously, once again, her parents are in on it, like the Redditor said. Like, there's no way they aren't. So that kind of makes it much worse because it shows that her parents are willing to like be part of this drama that makes them look kind of like, it puts them in the spotlight, and it shows that, yeah, they do want some of that clout.
Maybe her parents, kind of let her off the leash a little bit. She can do what she wants, as long as she's grinding on her career. She doesn't have to go to school. She doesn't have to be a normal kid. Like, she's constantly talking about this guy called Chad, Joshua, Leo. Whether if it's real or not, we don't know. Whether these people are actually in love or if they are just putting it on as like a stunt to get views and to have more engagement in her TikTok videos. I don't know.
I think Miss Weiwei had a great point here because a lot of the characters that she talks about seem real because it's like get ready videos and stuff. Get ready with me when I go out with Joshua, blah, blah, blah. But like she never actually shows them. And the fact that she like clearly stages some content shows that like a lot of these people, like her crush and stuff, could be just made up. Like it makes sense because I mean, who would want to make videos talking about someone you like in front of thousands of people? Like it's going to reach them eventually and that would be really embarrassing. So it likely is like, there is a possibility that some of these people she talks about don't even exist. And people are genuinely following her series and they've been following them for a while. So this just makes the situation kind of eerie and definitely strange.
I have this cute set that I got on my birthday. It's all black, which I love. Might go to someone's funeral. This is what it looks like. Why is he calling? Make this fast, Leo. I'll be ready in like 5-6 minutes. You just want to pick me up?
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, perfect. Bye.
Like, that could easily have been faked. It could be AI. It could be a friend of hers in on it. It could be literally anyone. It could be a cousin for all we know. Maybe she's actually dating one, but she talks so in-depth about her life online. It just seemed almost staged, but I mean, maybe I could be wrong. But once again, she just talks about Joshua in such a weird way, mentioning him in so many different TikToks. I just don't know. I'm starting to think that he may not actually be a real person. And I mean, is it insanely problematic? No, it isn't really. She isn't really exactly spreading misinformation or something. I mean, she is making someone up, but it's not like the worst thing she could do on the internet, but it is misleading your audience. I mean, to some extent, maybe it is spreading some sort of misinformation, but it's not like harmful misinformation, if you know what I mean. Another user replies to the post we were talking about earlier saying, "No, honestly, I was just searching for this on Reddit. She's absolutely insufferable. For real though, the fake stories, pretend crying, acting like her life is so hard, and trying to feed this narrative of boo-hoo me. Bro, she's one of the most privileged people on that app. I mean, you only need to look at her kitchen to notice that. She has her own car, owns about 1,000 purses, 1,000 perfumes, 10,000 pairs of shoes, which she makes her entire personality. Wow, these people are mad. In one of her latest videos, she bought her mom a €250 purse and tried to make herself look like a good person, but it was just really creepy. The way her family plays into it is really gross. I have no words for her latest dad cheating on the mom stunt. That's just sick. I think there's something really wrong with her, and don't get me started on the videos where she films where she makes up stories about someone getting bullied and then she happens to be the good Samaritan, solves everything. The cringe is so bad. Rant over."
She has 7 million subscribers on YouTube and 25 million on TikTok. There is no way her family doesn't follow her, especially her parents. If you really think about it, her parents would have given her consent to make these videos. In one of the videos, her mom was actually talking in the background, which made me think about it. I said, was she giving consent or did she just do this on her own?
No, her parents definitely know. Like, I'm gonna be so honest. There's no way her parents don't know. Like, she has, as Kelly stated earlier in this little clip I just showed, she has over 7 million followers. Like, there's no way your parents would not know. They're obviously in on it. They could be, like, pressuring her to do certain things. Who knows? Maybe she doesn't even want to have a music career. Maybe she doesn't want to have a platform. We don't know enough about her situation or her family, obviously. And what's her family should be her family, her privacy. So, I mean, we don't need to know. But we can say to some extent that her parents are definitely kind of pushing this on.
Believe me, he's 5'4". He doesn't even make half of a boyfriend. He thinks I'm gonna put him in avocado. It's $3. You don't deserve $3. I have an expired avocado though. What? What'd you say? Avocado sponsor me.
I feel like such an out of touch loser when I see her videos because like I don't get it. Like, can you please comment? Like, I don't get the references she's making. It must be something that her audience only gets, and that is kind of special, even if this content is super staged and everything. I must admit, like the avocado sponsor me and stuff. Like, bro, I don't get what she's talking about. I don't understand it like the whole time. And that's no hate to her. I feel like that's just me being stupid or something. But like, seriously, am I just out of touch with like certain TikTok stuff? Or is it like some inside joke that only her audience knows? Another Redditor replies, has anyone seen her recent ones pretending that this one character, Chad, is in the hospital? Insufferable. She's doing something right because even though I can't stand her, she's always on my For You page and I don't block her. It's like she's so awful it's almost satisfying to watch. At this point, I basically hate watching her, ha ha ha. Maybe I'm the only one who should get a life. And then the person who created the post that we reviewed earlier replies with, yep, she's trying to find new ways to keep her audience hooked with branching storylines. Honestly, I think most people know her skits are fake, but she's doing it for clout in her music career. Not sure how long she can keep this going on for. I mean, lying about their life will catch up to them at one point. While living in the most authentic way possible is the right way to step in the right direction, so I'm sure you're doing well from the emotional and mental health standpoint, lol. Can't say the same for Leila.
I know she hates vanilla, so like just a little bit. Aggie! Oopsie daisy. Missed that one. To remember, this is a love cake filled with love.
Here she's making a cake for her boyfriend's new girlfriend, and once again, yes, it clearly is staged, which I can totally understand why people are mad. It annoys me so much because, like, on TikTok, you can just make stuff so obvious, and there's people that make way more obvious staged content than her. Don't even get me started on those people like Natalie Reynolds, and people fall for it. I don't know who they are. They must be 12-year-olds, but, like, they're in the comments replying. Like, she'll comment, I'm famous now, and they'll reply, who's gonna tell her? Girl. She's rage baiting. She's a full-grown woman who has 2 million followers. Do you really think that she truly thinks she's a celebrity? No, she's been rage baiting for like a decade. Why are you giving her engagement? So I can understand to some extent why people are mad, but these Redditors are just a little bit extreme, like with the meanness, I'll be honest. Here's one Redditor that says, just this afternoon, while mindlessly surfing through YouTube, I found that she has barely 6 to 7 reels on that audio that was made by 12 to 13-year-olds, no older than that, which is shocking since she apparently has a huge engagement comments from her fans. Also, I don't know about her entire profile, but I'm surprised she doesn't get bullied for preaching all those fake stories. Also, her actual best friend and boyfriend don't find it atrocious. I don't know if she, I'm not saying like this, but I feel like she has probably a boyfriend but doesn't talk about him. You know what I mean? Like, she probably has a boyfriend, and if she does have a boyfriend, I'm guessing she either does or doesn't, but it definitely isn't the one she's talking about, other than the fact that maybe she makes up a nickname for him. I'm not sure.
Why do they not teach us in school what to wear to a funeral? Like, what?
I remember this exact TikTok, and not only has she gotten a lot of criticism and just pure hatred for her skits and her stage content, she's also gotten some controversy surrounding her TikToks because sometimes they just seem out of touch, which this could be purposely trying to get controversy because, as we know, that's another way to stage stuff. But she's been posting TikToks where she's talking about and complaining about what to wear for a funeral, and a lot of people called her out saying that makes her seem like she's trying to be the main character, thinking about herself. It's just like she kind of treats the funeral in the video where she talks about it like it's a wedding or like it's her prom dance or something, like when like you're not supposed to be focusing on yourself. Like, it's kind of her just joking around and stuff, which if I had to guess, she probably sounds rude. She maybe just was pretending to go to a funeral because, as we know, a lot of her content doesn't actually happen. I'm not saying no one she ever knew didn't die or something. What I'm saying is it's a possibility she wasn't actually going to a funeral. That doesn't really make it much better, but it could just be another stage story to try to farm engagement and maybe a little bit of hate.
Not in my 21 years of living did I ever think I would do this, but I'm gonna be reading my hate comments. I'm gonna cry. I swear this girl's always crying. That's a valid point. I really don't know. I should go to Why is she looking at me like I made her boyfriend's leave her? That one was not funny.
She does get called out. I remember the Redditor earlier in this video mentioned that she cries a lot and it seems staged and stuff, which apparently she does do. I am not a regular watcher of hers, you guys can obviously tell because I don't get any of her references. No hate to anyone who does. If you enjoy this type of content, even if you know it's staged but you still enjoy it, who cares? At the end of the day, I mean, you do you. No hate at all. But I have seen a lot of people complain about how she over-exaggerates stuff. I couldn't really find any specific clips, but I have heard that as a statement, so it makes sense that she gets some of those hate comments. She she gets a ton of hate, especially on Instagram, which we all know most people get hate on. Like, let's be honest. Like, any creator who's beloved on any other app, you probably will not be beloved on Instagram.
You're little. How do you always record everything? So you're telling me you wake up in the morning and there's a camera there? No, I'm telling you that I wake up in the morning, put my phone there, press record, then go to sleep. God, I hate you so much, but I also love you. And I'll take that. I love you too. And this very smart guy, so you're telling me random men just come up to you and touch you? Well, unfortunately, we are surrounded with men like you.
I'm surprised that she doesn't review any of the comments talking about the stage content. Once again, we'll get into a response soon, but a lot of those comments are complaining about how she acts over dramatic, and I see a lot of people complaining that she's always on their For You page, but they hate her so much, but they almost want to watch her just because, as you saw that Redditor say earlier in this video, she's so, like, she's cringe to some extent, they think, but she's also interesting because, like, the content may seem clearly staged, but it's still, like, you still want to watch it. And that's what works with her content. That's what's made her so popular, is even if you find her cringe, even if you hate her, you want to continue watching because she'll make her drama situation, as staged as it seems, into a whole series. So soon you're hooked. You're watching every clip for, like, let's think, like 17 different videos on one situation about her dad cheating, her boyfriend having some toxic girlfriend, all that different stuff. She'll make it into tons of different videos and farms engagement, and it works. Once again, like, she's been very, very successful. She's been able to maintain views that most influencers, well, they don't maintain those views for long.
People have been wondering if all my content is real, if all the videos I have done are real, if they're fake, what's happening. For example, I'm making a smoothie and I'm laughing every 3 seconds and I'm being very loud and I'm acting, throwing things on the ground. That's not how I am in real life. If you see me in school, I'm literally sitting with my face down and just like focusing on myself and being very quiet.
Okay, so this was her response, and I have 2 quick things to say. Firstly, when she mentions like how she isn't as energetic as she is in her videos, I don't think that's what they meant when they said fake. I think they mean the drama, like your parents splitting up and all that, and your Joshua boyfriend, but hopefully she'll bring that up soon. And secondly, I totally get what she means with like the having an online presence and then being at school. Like, wouldn't that be awkward? Imagine having 7 million followers and like everyone at school knows who you are, but like at the same time you're not really famous because you're an influencer, but then you make a lot. It would just be so awkward. I would totally be in the same situation. So I agree with that. When she's like, I had my head down, I would probably have my head down too. I just feel like it would be very awkward to have that many followers and everyone at school kind of know.
Oh, that's not how I actually am. It's acting. It's a character. It's Lala. For example, I have an Arabic test and I'm literally stressing about it, but I made fun videos like how I'm gonna learn the alphabet using a song. Made a video, made it lighthearted, so it's not like, oh my god, I'm gonna go take a test. That's just my character, that's who I am. It does not mean my content is fake. The people who have followed me ever since the Hey Joshua videos and Let's Make a Susie videos, they know what I'm talking about. They know it's POVs, they know it's characters.
So to some extent, her response did kind of confuse me because she was saying like it's characters, but it's not staged. So she's kind of mixing it up a little bit, which no hate at all once again, but like I was just a little bit confused because she seems to say that it's staged and it's characters, which I mean, if you make stage content and you talk about it being staged and you're open about it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you want to enjoy it, it's just kind of like watching a very clearly staged reality show. Like a lot of reality shows are very clearly staged, stuff like that. Like it's like watching something, but just watching it for the enjoyment, watching it for her videos for fun because they're a little like she's trying to be a little cringe but a little fun at the same time. But if she's lying and like making it blatantly clear like yes, this is real but it isn't, that's kind of where the problems begin to some extent because she is lying. Like at the end of the day she is lying, so she doesn't really get directly into it as a lot of responses usually are. She doesn't really state that like it is like Joshua's fake and stuff, but she does talk about how like she has characters and she buys things and she's playing a character. So to some extent she does seem to say that it's staged, but she doesn't at the same time. But she does make it clear that her audience would understand, and I kind of agree with that because I don't know what she's mentioning with all these references.
And then there are comments saying, I don't know how far this girl can go. She is now saying that she might have sisters. How are the parents fine with it? The comment section is full of people saying she's fake. I hope she's finally cancelled and the young children realize it's all an act. She's so annoying, her fake cry makes my blood boil.
Like I said before, I think something these Redditors fail to realize is that like her parents are in on it. Do you think that they don't know? Like, seriously, do you think that they don't know? They likely have a huge influence on her. Like, let's be honest. They have a huge influence. They probably help make some of the content. I mean lots of the content. And I'm gonna be honest, there is a way to criticize her, but I feel like a lot of these Redditors, and I'm not saying, like, I'm not standing up for her. She seems to, like, at times not make it clear that her content is staged. She definitely is far from being completely unproblematic. Not saying any of that. But, like, some of these Redditors can be really, really, like, rude. Usually Redditors don't seem to be, like, completely awful, but, like, in this situation, I don't know, they just seem to be a little over the top. Like, they're just going after, like, her crying and stuff. I don't know, it just feels like they could be a little more respectful. Here Redditor says, I honestly think the only reason anyone would do this is to hold some kind of popularity or remaining relevancy on TikTok. I do think it is messed up, but to be fair, people have done far stupider and more insensitive stunts for fame, so can you really be surprised? And the person who created the post responds fair, but I didn't think she would sink that low. I do understand why people are mad, 100%. Like, the cheating drama and stuff, that is very, very annoying, but this person does have a point. Like, once again, not standing up for her, not defending her, she definitely has lied. Like, she has lied a lot, and she doesn't really make it clear that they're skits, so people do actually believe them. There's so many problems with her, but she could be doing worse stuff. Like, she could be putting people into danger, she could be, like, there's just worse things that she could be doing. So to treat her like she's like some kind of monster seems a little bit extreme, but she can definitely be criticized. Sometimes I feel like the internet, and I know coming from me is like, oh yeah, you're one to talk. I feel like people just sometimes don't treat people like they're human at the end of the day. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm flawless, like I've been rude. I'm not even going to have to state the examples because I've said it so many times, the examples where I've been really rude. But sometimes, I mean, we just treat people like they're just so far from being human. They're monsters. Like, yes, she did stage the content. Yes, she did lie. Yes, she did a lot of bad things. But, like, at the end of the day, just acting this way that these Redditors do, I don't know, it just kind of annoys me. Maybe I'm being over dramatic. It's not all of them. It's just, like, the girl replying to all the posts. I'm not exactly sure what their username is, but they are just so, like, dedicated. I don't know how to explain it, but, like, they're just full of pure hatred. It's just beyond the point of criticism.
I guess that's the type of environment. It feels like because she's bringing home so much bread from being an influencer, her parents probably, has one eye closed when it comes to education. Maybe, I'm just assuming that maybe her parents, kind of let her off the leash a little bit. She can do what she wants, as long as she's grinding on her career. She doesn't have to go to school. She doesn't have to be a normal kid.
I just feel like that, once again, like, the Redditors fail to realize how much the parents play into it. Like, they act like the parents are the victims of the situation. Like, girl, they know how much she's making. They're helping her. Like, they are probably gonna, like, sure, Leila, you want us to pretend like we're split up? Sure, you know what? You want me to pretend like I'm bribing you to not tell your mom this? Sure, Leila. You're bringing home $20,000 a month, probably more than that. Who knows? I'm not sure how much it makes on all apps together. I know TikTok doesn't make a ton, but her videos are pretty long, and she posts a lot and gets a lot of views, so who knows how she makes, but she's making a pretty solid amount of money. So they definitely, Miss Weiwei had a great point here. They definitely are closing an eye. Like, let's just say that. They're definitely like, oh yeah, you don't have to focus on anything, Leila. Just worry about this money you're bringing us right now. And of course, her brothers are older than her. Like, they probably play a role in this too. They're getting a check likely from this situation because they're in a lot of her videos. They are a huge part of her drama in her, like, Wattpad stories. Yes, it definitely is, like, it's pretty insane and it is exaggerating and farming and stuff. You can call it whatever you like, but at the end of the day, to pretend like she's the only one part of this, like, if you want to be mad at it, you gotta realize that there's more people in this picture. Her brothers are part of it, which are older than her. Her parents are in it, which is, they're older than her. So it feels like going after just one person for this stage content because she's the one on the screen the most is just a little bit like, I don't know, because she is still in high school with her parents in a lot of her videos and her brothers in a lot of her videos. So clearly there's a whole group making this type of, like, content together. And I don't know, just feel like criticizing the parents should have been something I saw more in that subreddit than I did.
It's ringing.
I can't find it.
Well, it's ringing.
No, I found it.
Well, hang up then.
You're not calling me, idiot. Not a skit, not a joke, a personal bombshell dropped in front of millions of people. I might be thinking to yourself, she probably stopped there, right? No, you're wrong.
Because the more you look into it, the whole entire Layla situation, the more like disturbing and the more you start to kind of feel bad for her and be like, maybe there's more to this than we think. Because like, what parents would let you talk about like some situation where they break up or they cheat on each other publicly? Like, most parents would like be furious at you. They'd be like, no more phones for you. So the fact that she talks about so much drama involving her parents, like them bribing her, them cheating on each other, them splitting up and stuff so openly in so many different videos about it, tells me that there's clearly, like, they're clearly in on it, like, so obviously. So, I mean, there's just more to this picture than what people are saying. And it just is kind of scary, like, to some extent, the type of content she's making, it's just so much, like, family drama, and sometimes you just should keep some stuff personal, even though I know most of it is staged. It's kind of like, I don't know, no, telling millions of people about your family when you're this young, I just don't know. I feel like that wouldn't play out for you greatly later in your life. I've seen people say different things about this on different websites. People say she has pretty privilege. They say she just is like lucky or something, but there's no such thing as like luck on TikTok. You can be lucky with one TikTok and go viral, but you can't be lucky long term. She clearly has a method. I mean, everyone to some extent who is successful on any platform, YouTube, TikTok, you get it. They have a method. They have a few different things that cause them to be successful every time, and they just don't like share that because, I mean, you don't share stuff like that because you don't want everyone to know. Then you'll have more and more competitors. So she probably has some method to going viral. My guess it is something to do with hooking people with incredibly interesting stories such as cheating, her dad bribing her, blah, 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 breakups, all that stuff, her overdramaticness, her like making inside jokes that her audience and only her audience understands, and all of this just very random stuff that makes her stand out. I would say that's her method to saying viral. No, it is not pretty privilege. It's none of that. It is how she makes her videos and continues to make them. So to put it quite plainly, Layla is always like an interesting account to stumble upon. If you go on her account, at first it's just kind of like this kind of cringy kid messing around in videos, and it just seems kind of simple, but the further you look, the more it becomes clear that there's so much more behind the scenes. I mean, as she said in her response video / apology video, she is playing a character. So we don't know what she's actually like. And that's the way it is for a lot of influencers. Like, to some extent, everyone online is playing some sort of character. Some people are the complete opposites there. And she says she's kind of shy at school, which makes sense. Like, if you have a big platform, especially that everyone knows about, it would be a little bit awkward, especially walking around. I feel kind of bad for her in that situation because, once again, it would be really awkward, like super awkward. But to some extent, we don't really know what she's actually feeling. We don't know how she responds to this hate. We don't know anything. We don't know how much she's pressured by her parents, by her brothers, by people around her to continue to make money and continue to get views. We simply cannot pretend like her online personality is real. Like, she's like this bratty, kind of cringy girl that like acts this way all the time. Like, that's just so unrealistic. And I feel like a lot of the Redditors especially were buying into the idea that she's like that all the time. She's super energetic, super like, to their own definition, cringy. She's just like this in real life. And I feel like people think that online a lot, but it's like everyone to some extent, especially people that stage TikTok drama, they're faking it. Like, they have this fake character and they take it to the extreme. Like, if you think I am being overdramatic in videos, like, they take it to the extreme. So all I'm saying at the end of this video is, yes, she can definitely be criticized, but there's more to this situation than we think.